Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're playing Mountains of Madness. Let's just new game it up. This is going to be harder for me to play.
I am forced into speech because men of science have refused to follow my advice without knowing why. It is altogether against my will that I tell my reasons for opposing this contemplated invasion of the Antarctic and reveal the extravagant and incredible facts I suppressed thus far. As a geologist, my object in leading the Miskatonic University expedition was wholly that of securing deep-level specimens of rock and soil from various parts of the Antarctic continent, aided by that remarkable drill devised by Professor Frank H. Peabody of our engineering department. Professor Lake of the biology department had gone ahead and set a forward camp where he had found some interesting spot to use the drill. He had been sending messages with his findings. But all communication stopped since the beginning of the storm. I was analyzing some rocks we had gathered when the storm hit us at the McMurdo base camp.
Okay then. And there was something I could do. Okay, so I have a flashlight. I don't seem to be able to pick up this. Oh, that's probably stuff you have to use the journal on. Let's make sure this doesn't open. I do not like how it's left click instead of right click. Is there anything over here that I need to interact with? Doesn't appear so. So I guess the paper.
As of some act of providence, all the messages from Lake had been carried out into the storm, lost forever. I wish now I had left it at that. But we were too worried about Lake and, of course, curious to know more about those unbelievable things he had spoken of in his messages.
Okay, so I understand. So we're supposed to be investigating who was here. Okay, understood.
At 7:15 a.m., January 25th, we started flying northwestward. The atmosphere was clear, fairly quiet, and relatively mild in temperature, and we anticipated very little trouble in reaching the latitude and longitude designated by Lake as the site of his camp. Our apprehensions were over what we might find or fail to find at the end of our journey, for silence continued to answer all calls dispatched to the camp. It was young Danforth who drew our notice to the curious regularities of the higher mountain skyline. Regularities like clinging fragments of perfect cubes, which Lake had mentioned in his messages. I felt a wave of uneasy consciousness of archaic mythical resemblances, of how disturbingly this lethal realm corresponded to the evil-famed plateau of Lang in the primal writings. It was not a region I would care to be in or near. At the moment, I felt sorry that I had ever read the abhorrent Necronomicon, or talked so much with that unpleasantly erudite folklorist Wilmarth at the university. This mood undoubtedly.
I understand that this is based on a book, but
to the bizarre mirage
this exposition dump is not
grew near the mountains.
exciting at
I
all.
had seen dozens of polar mirages during the preceding weeks, but this one had a wholly novel and obscure quality of menacing symbolism. I was glad when the mirage began to break up, though in the process the various nightmare turrets and cones assumed distorted, temporary forms of even vaster hideousness. Without an appropriate surface to land close to the camp, we settled for a small entrance of a cave, one which Lake had messages about and would surely take us to the camp. Danforth stood at the plane next to our long-range radios as I went into the cave, alone, searching for the camp somewhere to the northeast.
Oh, finally, we get to do something. So I love the graphics so far, like this plane shot. That's cool. It's cool, but you can use paper to make a trail and leave directions for yourself. Oh, so I guess you're probably going to get lost, is what I'm assuming, and that's not something I like to hear. So I need to find a rope. Okay, that's weird shaped rock. So we need a, let's look at what items we have. So far no items. So we need a rope and a ice claw. So far that's the two things I've seen. You probably, each part is probably like a different chapter or something, I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make that jump. Okay, so we're probably going to need an item for that. So far, I'm just seeing directions I can't go. Wait a minute, how did I loop back around? Okay, is there something up here that we can get? Hoping this is not where we came from and that this is going to be a new area. Oh, it is. Oh, another thing where I need a rope. Okay. Okay, so the problem is everywhere I go I need a rope or an ice claw. So this in no way, shape, or form helps me without having a rope. Okay, I know where we are, but there's got to be something that... Maybe there's some items back at the plane. I hadn't thought about that. No, you can't go out there. Yet I've found no items. Okay, I can't climb up there. See, the problem is we can't find any items whatsoever. Okay. Okay. Okay, I found a new area here. One that I haven't seen before, so... And there's a light down there, so this is probably where I have to go. Hopefully we find some items here. Okay. Is that all this was? Oh, that's where we've been falling. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, they think I'm gonna do that, yeah.
Through the layer
Oh,
of ice, you could see the exit to Lake Scamp.
that's where we were before. Finally, I was about to go like, why don't we have items? I guess you can't save the game without exiting. Yeah, I'm not gonna risk that because I just got the rope. I don't like how sometimes the sprint works and sometimes it doesn't. Like the sprint key doesn't make you sprint. It's double tapping W, which I don't like that. Make sure there's not another entrance or tunnel around here. No, there's not. Okay. Yeah, this right here is another bridge, so I can't do anything with that. No, I'm not going to use the rope for that simply because I don't need to. Guys, I could just go the long way. I'm not going to waste my only rope on doing that. But this place up here, where it takes us around outside, since we haven't been to that area, I don't believe. I'll double check before we use the rope. Okay. It goes down deeper, but let's check this area first. See if there's an ice pick or something that we need. Okay, I don't like that. That in fact means that there's going to be areas that aren't going to be obvious that we're going to have to use to climb. So at first I thought that was just for the bridge. I see a table down there. Anything else around here? No. That's another area where we need the pick. Oh, I know where we are, sadly. Wait a minute. What on earth? I don't understand. That just lives back here. This doesn't help us at all. Wait a minute. Yeah, we went there, and that's where this... This does not help us at all. So we have that ladder. Keep in mind we have the ladder, but... What do we need it for? Because if you can't lay it flat... Wait, actually, let me see. Maybe you can. Okay. Okay, maybe you can. Let me go back here. There we go. So, what exactly do I need to do here? Okay, so that doesn't help me. Well, you're supposed to be able to get over here because it can interact with that. Crud. Oh. I see it now. Wait a minute. No, I don't. That's where I came from. Yeah, that's just a regular. There is no reason to come over here except for the journal. So you're telling me that this whole time this was stupid? Okay. Let's just go ahead and jump off. Okay, so we have that. There are several bridges that are out so we can cross. I guess we can try that. Okay, that's the one where we got it from originally, so that doesn't help us. Nope, not this way. Okay, so this is a quicker way up and down to the other side. This one's a frozen wall. This one's the other railing. Okay. This is new. So we need the ladder again. Okay. Then if we go here. That was not intentional by any means. Okay then. Okay. Okay. Here we go.
It is only with vast hesitancy and repugnance that I let my mind go back to Lake's camp and what we really found there.
Wow. I tried to look up videos for this game earlier, and all the videos I've seen were just like only 10 minutes long, and they didn't get out of the cave. So I think this might be the first YouTube video where we're actually out of the cave. I was reading the Steam discussions because I was kind of lost, and apparently there's an item that we're supposed to find that's only in Act 2, which I'm assuming this is Act 2. Let's check this area. There's a plane crashed right here.
The tremendous significance of our finding of the camp lies in what we dare not tell, what I would not tell now, but for the need of warning others off from nameless terrors.
Okay. Here we go. That's the item we were looking for, according to the scene discussion.
We carefully photographed all the main evidences of insane disorder at the camp, and it surely looked like madness to find 6 imperfect monstrosities carefully buried upright, while the 8 perfect specimens mentioned by Lake seemed to have been completely blown away. We shall use the prints to buttress our pleas against the departure of the proposed Starkweather Moor expedition. Insanity, centering in the missing Gedney as the only possible surviving agent, was the explanation spontaneously adopted by everybody so far as spoken utterance was concerned. Though each of us may have harbored wild guesses which sanity forbade to formulate completely, for one had to be careful of one's imagination in the lee of those overshadowing mountains of madness. We started a tentative plan for 1 or more range-crossing altitude flights in a lighting plane. It was decided that Danforth and I would try it first. As all know, a conjecture that certain slopes and passes would permit of the scaling and crossing of the entire range by seasoned mountaineers, and a remark that the mysterious other side holds a lofty and immense super-plateau, as ancient and unchanging as the mountains themselves. This body of data is in every respect true, so far as it goes, and it completely satisfied the men at the camp. But now, it is my terrible duty to amplify this account by filling in the merciful blanks with hints of what we really saw in the hidden transmontane world. As we drew near the forbidding peaks, dark and sinister above the line of crevice-riven snow and interstitial glaciers, we noticed more and more the curiously irregular formations clinging to the slopes, and thought again of the strange paintings of Nicholas Roerich. We saw numerous square or semicircular entrances, as if the natural orifices into the mountains had been shaped to greater symmetry by some evil magic hand. Their wide distribution suggested that the whole region was honeycombed with tunnels. Such glimpses as we secured did not extend far within the caverns, but we saw that they were apparently clear of stalactites and stalagmites. Even the wind's burden held a peculiar strain of conscious malignity. It seemed that the composite sound included a bizarre musical whistling or piping over the omnipresent and resonant cave mouths. A few more feet of altitude, and we would behold the realm beyond. And then, having gained those last few feet, we did indeed stare across the momentous divide, and over the unsimple secrets of an elder and utterly alien earth. Both of us simultaneously cried out in mixed awe, wonder, terror, and disbelief in our own senses as we finally cleared the pass and saw what lay beyond. The frightful, unhuman ruins that had brooded there amidst the blasts of a bleak upland. Corona Mundi, roof of the world.
Okay, then, that's...
Selecting a spot nearest to the pass, since our next flight would be across the Great Range and back to camp, we succeeded about 12:30 p.m. in coming down on a smooth, hard snowfield, wholly devoid of obstacles, and well adapted to a swift and favorable takeoff later on.
Oop, I guess we don't have the shovel anymore. That must mean there's another item instead. Okay, I just assumed that that's what I was supposed to do. My hand's kind of feeling weird. Okay. Here we go. Oh, take a break and come back to this. So we are continuing on our not so epic journey. Okay, so what are we doing now? It's been a few days, so I've kind of slipped my mind. Okay. Here we go. This is where we need to go. Okay. Okay, let's see. We're continuing going up. Okay, this is kind of getting cool. Let's get the rope out. Okay, slow and steady. Okay, what's down here? Whoa! You'll see that. Think we're getting close. Assume we start to go up now, because there's nowhere else. I don't see anything else. Whoa. You can really tell that they built this out very well. And that they took time to try to make this like cinematic, if you will, but hopefully we don't need both. Oh, so this is so we can get back up if we need to. Oh, that scares me to all get out. Like, I'm always afraid I'm going to take fall damage. na 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 na. Ba da 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 da. Da 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 da. Okay. Round him with many. Okay, anyway, so we've made it in. Now we go up. So far, it's mostly been puzzles. Okay. Let's get that out. Wait a minute, I know where we are. So this is not where we need to go, this is where we started. So, good thing we did that though, so now I know that there's another way we can go. Yeah, I highly doubt that we're supposed to go that way, yeah. I'm assuming we cross this bridge over here, yeah. Take that, sir. So, I'm thinking we go down that way if this doesn't go anywhere. Or there might be an item down there that we'll need. Either way, though, we'll check here first. Let's go check over here first before we go up some more, because I'm wondering exactly what is there over here. Wait a minute, I know where we are, sadly. Okay, I know where we are. Okay. Okay, so we don't need to go that way. See, that's one thing they try to do is they try to confuse you by connecting everything together. When in reality, though, you don't really need to do that. Okay, so we didn't even need to go here to begin with. Okay, let's go down this rope and see if we can find anything actually that we need to actually do. Oh, there's the door. We have... Ah! Wait a minute. I know where we are. So we do go that way, in fact. Okay. Okay, so that's where I would have went down if I would have went the other way. Oh, there's enemies down here. Okay. Wait a minute. Have I been here before? I don't remember. Okay. So there's one more I need. Crud, I probably left it in somewhere and didn't know I could pick it up. Oh, I know where we are. There was no rope there, though. Okay, so that's the last one we need. Yeah, that's right. There's a rope somewhere. Here it is. I got an achievement, so I think we're making good progress. Whew, we've been through a lot. I don't even think we've been there yet. And that's probably where we need to go, is there.
I caught an odor ahead. Paradoxically, it was both less frightful and more frightful. Less frightful intrinsically, but infinitely appalling in this place under the known circumstances. For the odor was the plain and familiar one of common petrol, everyday gasoline.
Oh, this is the big area.
Young Edna, may you... There are those who will say I was utterly mad not to flee for my life after that. since my conclusions were now, notwithstanding their wildness, completely fixed, and of a nature I need not even mention to those who have read my account as far as this. Perhaps I was mad, for have I not said those horrible peaks were mountains of madness? But I think I can detect something of the same spirit, albeit in a less extreme form, in the man who stalked deadly beasts through African jungles to photograph them or study their habits. Half paralyzed with terror though I was, there was nevertheless fanned within me a blazing flame of awe and curiosity which triumphed in the end, as I kept my goal of finding the hidden underground ocean.
Okay. Okay, so that's a dead end. I assume this is where we're going.
The farther one advanced, the warmer it became, and a nameless, acrid, and diffuse scent became apparent.
Why is there penguins?
I wondered whether there were any actually igneous manifestations.
Well, I've never read the book, so I wouldn't
Whether
know.
the waters of that sunless sea were hot.
Okay. Oh. I did not see that.
The nameless scent was now curiously mixed with another and scarcely less offensive odor. Of what nature we could not guess, though we thought of decaying organisms and perhaps subterranean fungi. Penguin beaks against the tough tissues Lake had dissected could hardly account for this terrible damage. Nature had played a hellish jest on them, and this was the tragic conclusion. Poor old ones. Scientists to the last. What had they done? Or would not have done in their place? God. Intelligence and persistence. Radiates, vegetables, monstrosities, star spawn. Whatever they had.
Oh, it's behind me. Oh, I'm dead. Remember, just keep going straight, I guess. I think I'm dead again. Okay, almost.
Danforth and I have recollections of emerging into the great circular space and of threading our back trail through the cyclopean rooms and corridors of the dead city. Yet these are purely dream fragments involving no memory of volition, details, or physical exertion. It was as if we floated in a nebulous world or dimension without time, causation, or orientation. All was well with the plane, and we clumsily hauled on our heavy flying furs. Danforth got the engine started without trouble, and we made a very smooth takeoff over the Nightmare City. As we drew close to the jutting peaks, the wind's strange piping again became manifest, and I could see Danforth's hand trembling at the controls. Rank amateur though I was, I thought at the moment that I might be a better navigator than he in effecting the dangerous crossing between pinnacles. And when I made motions to change seats and take over his duties, he did not protest. But Danforth, released from his piloting and keyed up to a dangerous nervous pitch, could not keep quiet. It was then that his mad shrieking brought us so close to disaster, by shattering my tight hold on myself and causing me to fumble helplessly with the controls for a moment. A second afterward, my resolution triumphed and we made the crossing safely. Yet, I am afraid that Danforth will never be the same again. He refused to tell me what final horror made him scream out so insanely. A horror which, I feel sadly sure, is mainly responsible for his present breakdown. He has on rare occasions whispered disjointed and irresponsible things about the Black Pit, the Carven Rim, the Proto-Shoggoths, the Elder Pharaohs, Yog-Sothoth, the Moon Ladder, and other bizarre conceptions. Of course, Danforth did not hint at any of those specific horrors till after his memory had had a chance to draw on his bygone reading. He could never have seen so much in one instantaneous glance. When he is fully himself, he repudiates all this and attributes it to his curious and macabre reading of the whole worm-riddled copy of the Necronomicon kept under lock and key in the college library. All that Danforth has ever hinted is that the final horror was a mirage, a single, fantastic, demonic glimpse among the churning zenith clouds of what lay back of those other westward mountains which the old ones had shunned and feared. His shrieks, though, at the time, were confined to the repetition of a single mad word of all too obvious source.
So guys, that's the ending. If you did enjoy and you want to see more, make sure to like button, subscribe if you already, and tell me what you thought about this game down in the comment section down below. And I'll see you all in the next video.